everybody.
There's no way they're
nerds.
hearing you over Hollow Bastion's music right now.
Oh shit, am I like turbo quiet?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have my mic up pretty high. Let me fix that. In the meantime, where you're at a Hollow Bastion right now? What have you been doing?
So, yeah, I played basically a stream session worth of grinding today. And as you can see that I'm only 4 levels higher, it was obnoxious. So I finished 100 Acre Wood and I did Olympus to get Areola, and I went ahead and sealed it because you get them at the same time, pretty much.
Oh, sounds like you say areola when you say aurora.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I have a speech impairment, so you know, learn to not be an ass.
Listen.
Then, so I did that. I got Chair for Sora. I also got both the Experience Ring and the Experience Earring, which has a great typo where there's a period after the 20%. I really like that. And then, it almost looks like they just took, like, one of the fan, like, translations for Final Mix and put it in. But, so I got that stuff, so what I'm doing now is trying to grind. I'm at level 50. I want to be level 51 before I try to take on Riku. Because at 51, I get Sliding Dash, but I also get a defense up.
Alright, word. So, real quick. In my personal file, I'm a little bit ahead of you. So just keep me updated on what you're doing. What you're about and all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, I'm about us fucking finishing this game already. We're still gonna beat Xemnas.
Yeah.
But I need this to end.
You need Kingdom Hearts 1 to end. You're over it.
You know, it's not that I'm over it or anything. It's just that, like... Look, here's the thing. I didn't lie when I said that the magic build is powerful and one of the best. If you're not talking the entire time to someone and you can think about all the stuff you're doing, it's a much more engaged playstyle that I'm not doing. So when I get deep into conversation, I just press X and that doesn't do anything.
I got you. You didn't consider the factors.
Yeah. Now, that said, I will probably continue picking Mage build for all the later games, because they're not as bad later. But, yeah, chip damage in the first game is really not fun. So yeah, right now I'm just grinding, going up and down the castle until I get to level 51. I mean, personally, I'd like to get to 57, but that's taking forever. Because at this point, you're really supposed to only be leveling using Hades Cup.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
You mentioned earlier when you messaged me personally that you were doing something like that you had a specific way that you were grinding. What was that?
To get the Serenity thing. So in order to get the Experience Necklace, or no, Earring, one of them, you have to synthesize it, and that requires you to fight some of the god damn it, to fight some of the new enemies in Final Mix. So I had to take on a Power Wild, or whatever the like special thing is for the Fury Stone, the monkey in Traverse Town. I had to take on the Pot Scorpion, although I ended up not actually having to do that, because there's a neat trick where you can get Mithril Stones without having to fight him at a 10% chance if you just know how physics engines work in video games. So I did that and was lucky enough to get it on the first hit, so I didn't have to actually fight the Scorpion at all. And then I had to take on, what was the other? Oh, the Giga Shadows. So for that, I just abused Dumbo to do that one.
Yeah.
And then the Pink Argyarchus, I couldn't get 40 hits in, which is what you need at minimum in order to get a 10% chance of him dropping the Serenity item. So I had to do the Hercules Cup so that I could get the Yellow Trinity, so I could get the upgrade to Aereo, so that I could do damage to him by standing near him, because you can't do Ragnarok yet, because you get Ragnarok by beating Riku. But I needed to get the experience A-Ring so I could go and take on Riku.
Oh, God. So you did a lot of stuff that I'm glad you did off screen, because that would have just been mega boring.
Oh, it was definitely like a stream's worth. It was about 3 or 4 hours. So,
oh, Jesus. Thank you for doing that on your own time. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think... We will have future grinding, but it's not going to be as bad because it will be after the second visit, and I have the experience accessories now, and it'll just... I'm also, like, already level 51, so enemies shouldn't be Horde for too much longer. It's supposed to get easier. They're not supposed to be difficult now, but...
Yeah,
that's what happens when you give up the shield. You die in 2 hits.
Ugh, especially on Proud Mode.
Yeah.
Proud Mode in this game is, like, no joke, honestly. Like, and I think it's just because mechanically the way that Kingdom Hearts 1 is compared to the other games is, like, a little bit, I guess, clunkier, and therefore requires you to just be more precise in a lot of ways. Proud is just fucking murder.
Well, I think it's reasonably... yeah, I think it's reasonably comparable to Critical in the later games. Not perfectly so. It's a little bit easier than Critical, but at least as far as how much damage you take. The only thing is I don't think you have a damage increase on Proud in this like you do Critical in the later games.
Yeah.
And you also don't start with any special abilities. And drop rates, I believe, are unchanged. So, that's kind of obnoxious, but...
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason there's no critical mode in this game, you know? Like, you wouldn't want to play it if it was any harder than it already is on Proud.
Well, I mean, the closest thing is, like, doing the level 1 run. Yeah. Which, in a lot of ways, I find easier than this run I'm doing right now. Because, one, you skip every enemy. You only fight bosses. Unless you're trying to get a synthesis item. Because, like, you can't level up, so why would you fight them? And then, on top of that, the damage buildup glitch mechanic, no one's really sure what it is. That's there. It makes the Zero experience run a little bit easier. Okay.
I don't know, it's good that they have that, like, glitch, I say with air quotes, in the Zero EXP run, because otherwise, like, wow, imagine that.
Yeah. I'm also going to change quite a few things here. So, first thing I want to do is equip the Dark Ring, and I think the Raven's Claw. Let me see. Yeah, I like that setup. And then also the Keyblade. I'll do Olympia. That's going to lower my MP, but I need to be able to do damage to Riku because he's going to just counter any magic I try to do.
There's a little bit I want to talk about in relation to that cutscene after it happens. And we can talk about everything after you beat the boss, so you're, like, you know, you're focused. But
yeah,
there's some interesting stuff. I think is worth mentioning.
This may not be so bad. So I'm stocked on elixirs. I've got the upgraded arrow. Fuck it, let's get this bread.
Alright. For contrast, I'm currently doing the most annoying section in Winnie the Pooh, you know, the one where you have to just jump around on the logs and then do that painstaking game.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're probably in a cutscene. My bad.
No, you're fine. I have seen this game enough times that I don't need to talk during it.
The viewers.
The two of them?
Kyrie!
Yes, they need to know.
Kyrie! Kyrie! Open your eyes!
It's no use. That girl has lost her heart. She cannot wake up.
What? You're not Riku?
The keyhole cannot be completed, so long as the last Princess of Heart still sleeps.
The princess? Kyrie's a princess?
Yes. And without her power, the keyhole will remain incomplete. It is time she awakened.
Whoever you are, let Riku go! Give him back his heart!
But first, you must give the princess back her heart.
What's...
Don't you see yet? The princess's heart is responding. It has been there all along. Kyrie's heart rests within you.
Kyrie's inside me?
I know all that there is to know.
Tell me, who are you?
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. So, I shall release you now, Princess. Complete the keyhole with your power. Open the door. Lead me into everlasting darkness.
Sora!
I'm gonna fucking die.
Alright.
Forget it.
Did you just hear the music start and you were like,
Yeah. Yeah, the dearest ERA.
It's really menacing. Like, we gave a lot of shit to like One Winged Angel and stuff. Like that being the like a menacing track when 2 came out.
I love Forest of Mel.
Yeah, Forest of Mel just is menacing as hell.
Did you watch that video I sent you about the DRCUA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that is in every movie and every Kingdom Hearts game.
And Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Dude, I am fucking wrecking him.
Ooh! Eviscerate him! Yes, Queen.
I lied, I'm not wrecking him.
He's wrecking you now.
I'm playing it where I just, like, take the hits.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It's a lot easier when you have Aurora. Fuck, I said it.
Well, if you have counterattack, this is, like, the best way to do it. But...
yeah.
Ugh. Oh my god, stop with that.
gonna be stuck in my head all day. Or all night, rather.
What?
Forced to Mel.
I think Rage Awakened is my favorite, but I do really like Forged to Mel.
Which one is Rage Awakened again?
That's
is that Terra's one?
Yeah, Terra Nort.
That one's real good, yeah. Oh my god.
You know what I don't like? Is Oscurita di Xehanort. I think it's really busy. That's the one that combines Young Xehanort, Xemnas, and Forged to Mel.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I do like that one in the moment, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it. Like,
it's just
you gotta
so
be
busy.
playing the game in that moment to really appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, I beat him.
Hey, way to go. First try. Now we got a cutscene. A very makes me feel things cutscene.
The keyhole.
Fucking shit.
I just assumed you were saying that about the keyhole.
No. Sorry, Winnie the Pooh's got me
God
raging.
damn it, we can't open the keyhole.
What can we do?
Maybe we gotta go wake Kyrie up.
I think you're right. If we can free her heart. But how?
Okay.
A keyblade that unlocks people's hearts. I wonder.
Why didn't he just... Oh god, now that 3's happened, why didn't he just think about her real hard?
Well, Sora didn't know he had the power of waking
He was
yet.
able to
Not
do
until
it with
Ventus is like,
Roxas when
"Haha."
Roxas was in another dimension. But he can't fucking do it when Kyrie's right there.
He did it with Roxas while Roxas was in another dimension?
Yeah, Roxas was at Hollow Bastion. His body was
yeah.
when, Also, this is when Roxas and Naminé are born right here.
Yeah, that's important to point out. But I'm not sure what you're referencing in terms of him thinking about Roxas real hard, and that's what made Roxas.
Well, he had to have the memory with like Axel and Xion.
Oh fuck, you're thinking about that?
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing where half of it was, you know, half of it had to do with a connection and a bond with your friends. The other half of it had to do with like the replica bodies and data building and science type stuff that, you know, abstract science that isn't happening here. So that's why he didn't just think about it real hard. Instead, he had to commit teen suicide, which
Science
is a
with
really
a
common
P.
theme. Yeah, well, yeah. It's science in the Kingdom Hearts
Yeah, there's
world,
a lot
but
of suicide.
science with a P. Yeah, there's a lot of teen suicide. It's a pretty common theme in Kingdom Hearts.
Falling into darkness. Sora?
But this scene makes me feel things a lot.
It can't be. I won't let him go!
So, you have awakened at last, Princess. The keyhole is now complete. You have served your purpose, but now it's over.
Do you think we can stop him all by ourselves?
Impossible. No. You won't use me for this.
Riku!
You've got to run. The Heartless are coming.
Oh no, Shadows. Whatever will we do with our defender in Wizard's Relic?
What about the keyhole? Let's get out of here!
Alright, so what's the thing you wanted to talk about?
Oh, so all the scenes are over. You've
I'm a
left
Heartless
the-
now. Yeah. I'm a Heartless, doing Heartless things.
Well, you're gonna have another emotional cutscene coming soon, but I thought it was important that we touch a little bit on the way in which Ansem gains control over Riku, kind of in how I mentioned to you, like, there's a little bit of a gray area in which there's the heart, the disembodied heart of Xehanort that is sent back in time that we meet, Robed Man, and his Heartless. Because they're the same until they're not. Know what I mean?
Yeah, so my understanding is the Robed Man is just like his Heart. Like the Heartless, the Heart, whatever you want to call it. I don't know that it makes a whole lot of difference. Maybe it does. And then he uses Riku's body to get Terra's body back for the Heartless. That's not a body, because it's not a nobody. It's a Heartless.
Yeah, and that's sort of how I thought of it too. But it's also a little weird because it basically just used Riku to gain form, like a physical form. And that he always was a disembodied heart / Heartless. But it is interesting how when he takes over Riku, he ends up looking like Terra.
Yeah, he looks like Terra with Master Xehanort's clothes.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose it makes sense given that he was, when he became a Heartless, he looked like Terra.
Yeah, here's my hypothesis on that a little bit. 3 particularly tends to point towards this idea that even if you move your heart around, that's not necessarily the same personality and person inside. Right? Like, those were all of Organization 13 and 3 all have Xehanort's heart in them, but they all have their own personalities, motivations, ideas, even Ansem and Xemnas. So there may be something to say to the idea that Xehanort's heart, having gone into Terra, then being having amnesia, quote unquote, then being separated, heart from body, the heart going back in time, meeting its younger self, then traveling forward, then fusing with Riku. I think, like, once it got a body, it could kind of decide what it looked like, and it just kind of became an agglomerate of all of the minds and bodies it had shared beforehand.
Right, because it's sort of its own will at that point.
Well, it's had its own experiences, at least.
I vibe with that. It's really complicated, and honestly, he has always been a little bit of an enigma.
We can't just stay here. We have
you know,
to do something.
Secret of Darkness Ansem anyway. But he is from the first game, and wasn't super duper like thought through, more of the abstract type of villain.
Yeah, because I think when 1 came out, I don't think they had an idea to have Ansem the Wise. Like, I really think, even with the secret ending and stuff of 1, there's really no hint of it. There's no hint of it in the Ansem reports. I really don't think that was ever an intention. So I think at that point they wanted him to be Ansem.
Yeah. I also want to point out real quick in terms of people that are just walking hearts. Right now Sora is 1. And he's the only one to be able to do that and retain a full physical form that represents where he's strange from without going through all the nonsense that Ansem Secret of Darkness had to go through, you know, possessing a kid, all that jazz, jumping around through space-time, you know.
And there's a point to be made, we'll see it when we get to Chain of Memories, but the line I keep referencing is Axel when he said only Ansem has done it. He says that line in Chain of Memories in reference to the fact that Sora is the only other one to have done it. Because Loxine's like, oh, it's the strength of his heart that interests you. And he's like, he retained his physical form even after becoming a horde.
Yeah, and Ansem, like I mentioned this in one of our past streams, but Ansem himself, or I guess, you know, Xehanort, whatever, didn't really even do it.
Yeah.
Like, he did, but he was still, like I said, had to jump through hoops to maintain a physical form, whereas Sora literally just touched a Princess of Heart, and then boom, there he is. Power of love, baby.
Yeah. I wish someone loved me that much.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I was
engaged.
Yeah. But if I was a demon, I don't think hugging Charlotte would turn me back into a human.
That's a shame.
Well, hang on about your idea about Sora being just a horde. I think he just has a new body.
You think he made a new body?
Because otherwise, Kairi also is just a horde right now.
No, because
Naminé
was sitting there.
Naminé is the body of Sora technically, but like also she's Kairi's nobody.
Well, the way that I saw Naminé was they keep saying they really drive a point home for Naminé is that she's weird, right? She's not a normal nobody, and she was born in the exact moment when Kairi's heart left Sora's body, which you would think would mean that she is Sora's body, but we know that Roxas is Sora's body, and I think they were both born from Sora's body at that point because it was one of them was his body separating from his own heart, and the other one was Kairi's body separating from his heart, which would that his body would it would kind of like imply that his body was split in a way.
Well,
however,
they do dive into all
this.
this.
He has a new body right now. I don't think that makes. I don't think he could have a third body.
I'm not so sure because otherwise you'd have to say that until the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, or the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, depending on how you look at it. Well, it gets weird because he still binds with Roxas at the end of 2 in a weird way that's not ever properly expanded. But Roxas just kind of walked out and was like, "What's up, homie?" But like he was already bound with Roxas at that point. At least in my perspective, I personally think you're overthinking it right now. I mean, like Kingdom Hearts is meant to be overthought in a way, but I do think that like he was a walking heart. They say it in Chain of Memories. But what I'm also saying is that Ansem the Wise explicitly states in his report in 2 that Naminé is born of Sora's body, as is Roxas.
Yeah.
Those are two separate bodies moving around.
Yeah. And I think that's the case.
And you're telling me, and also for reference here, you're telling me I'm overthinking it while you're saying that Sora is walking around as just a horde.
Yeah, but that's been common rhetoric. That's like commonly talked about. That's not like something I pulled out of my ass just this moment. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm not sure I understand. Been brought up in Chain of Memories.
But they also talk about the fact that Kairi was able to give him his form again. Now, depending on how you want to view the term form, I guess changes that. But why don't we just move forward with the story and then we can revisit this later?
All right.
But I'm just saying this is more nuanced than just saying you're overthinking it while describing the existence of 4 different bodies.
I mean, I guess you don't need to get so defensive.
I'm not.
I think it's just
I'm just saying,
it's just like a weird Kingdom Hearts thing.
No, I'm not being defensive. I'm just saying, like, there's nuance here, and we can't dismiss it.
I don't see where you're going with it, personally, but if you have anything to support your claim later, feel free to point it out.
I mean, okay. Sure. Like, I just gave a lot of references, but sure.
I don't know. They don't support the claim to me.
Okay.
I don't meet you where your wavelength is at.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I just want to clear this room so badly.
I can't figure out how to beat fucking... What's the last thing you have to do in this goddamn tree stumps everywhere, hit the giant pot thing in Winnie the Pooh? I can't fucking figure out, because when I leave, it's not telling me that the page turned into any sort of item or whatever.
You have to talk to Rue, and then do the one where you throw the pebbles at the giant pot.
I did do that.
And the pot exploded?
Yeah.
Then you should be good.
And when I left, it wasn't like that, but I guess I'll do it again. Let's see what happens.
Because, like, this time, that's all I did was just,